Wow, it's taking a long time. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I mean that took a bit to
Well,
go
okay.
live.
And my
Right.
mic stayed muted. Like, what the hell?
Oh, that's okay. But I can hear you. So
You can hear
everything,
me? I can
yeah, I
hear
can hear you.
you.
Okay, good,
Oh, we're
good.
early.
Well, are we
Oh,
early?
and we're just on time.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good then. There we
Look
go.
at
So
that.
works out. Vloggers are never late.
Good morning, everyone. It is August 11th, 2026, and this is
Oh,
Ragin to the Vlogs, and it's Tuesday. It's
it's
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday. So far, I'm liking doing Tuesday.
I am
Doing the
too. I
vlogs
just
on
have to get
Tuesday.
it instilled into my normal
Right.
anxiety rhythm. Like
Right.
once
Yeah.
I upload it and it becomes
Hmm.
natural, then it'll be one thing. But I tell you what, it was
What?
fucking awesome. Like, oh, I already told you at the gym
Yeah.
how how it was like I didn't have to panic the whole time
Right.
watching the clock on Monday. So
Right.
it was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah. Like it's like because I knew that we had to change the schedule for a while, but I never thought that it would be like, oh yeah, we should have done this a long time ago.
Right?
Like yeah,
Because
like
everything happens on Monday.
Monday.
So why
Yeah.
would we put that on top of it, you know?
Right. Yeah. So no, this is much nicer. This is much nicer, you know. Yeah, so and boo for it being August 11th already.
Time
You know,
is flying.
no, yeah, for real. How does that saying go? It's like the days are long but the years are short.
God,
like
that is so
like
true now. Oh my God.
like yeah, like 2026 especially is like, actually, to tell you the truth, is like ever since 2020, like it's been really feeling time going faster and faster and faster.
And and time is so cruel because, like, for those of us who maintain a lot of memory, like,
Right,
I can
yeah.
remember when a day felt like an eternity, and now I wake up and I'm like, I got 5 minutes.
Uh, you muted yourself. Oh no.
Okay,
Okay. You
there
know
we
what?
go.
Maybe that's the clue
That's
that
it.
we should
Let's
finally
do
hit the
this.
intro.
You ready?
Absolutely not, but hit it.
I have anxiety. That means I'm in my shell and have a hard time expressing myself. I find it difficult to engage with others. So everyone shut the up because my anxiety is up here right now.
All the way.
Oh,
all the
really?
way.
Really?
Yeah, not really. Oh no.
Maybe, yes. So who's joining us today in the chat? Are people up today?
There are people. Good morning,
Oh, hello.
Rob.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning,
Jennifer.
Jen. Hello.
Good
Hello.
morning. Good morning, Lou.
Good morning. And
Those are the
yes.
people that used to speak.
Yeah, really. And yes, I see you, our beautiful eyeball people watching from regions beyond. If you are joining us from Facebook, please come on over to YouTube. Join the sexy people in the chat. Keep them company. Like I said before, Facebook always kind of gives me problems. Ever since I got dinged on Facebook, it's been giving me a little bit of problems. I mean, so far it's.
I love
guess
that we can share that now. I hate it
Right.
for you.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Experienced it, so
Look,
you know how fucking obnoxious it is.
I still blame Steph Wilson for that. His meme game was so strong, he made me make a joke that got me banned.
That was it, great young lady.
Oh, yes. And while you're all here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. So let me just clean up here. And hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist, self-publishing fantasy comics since 1992. I'll let you do the math. I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales and the medieval fantasy drama Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which you can read on Webtoon with new episodes updating every Tuesday. And also, if you are following Eagle Raven, but on Kickstarter, I'm just finishing up fulfilling the Volume 3 campaign, and the pre-launch page for issue 13 is now live. So the link to the pre-launch page is in the chat and in the show notes. And also, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter to make sure that you don't miss any of my new projects. Just scan the QR code, join my newsletter, and get a really good comic book bundle.
You'll have to elaborate.
Yeah, you have to elaborate. Yeah, because if I mean, the video, there's no delay on my end, and I don't think on.
I'm not getting delay.
Right, so it could be on your end. So it depends on what the delay is. So you'll get a free comic book bundle just for signing up for my newsletter. So just scan the QR code or visit my website at eagleworks.com. And joining me from the cozy corner,
it's me. I'm Nita. Yeah. I'm here. I'm here.
Be constantly.
Do you have a lip under your desk? Like, is there a lip?
No.
Fuck. See, because I was thinking that sounds actually awesome, because then I could sit up properly instead of shrimping to tight.
The one that I have, it's like a bracket, because I guess it's like that's what everyone uses now, instead of like drilling it into the it wouldn't let me. Oh, because this is live. It's not letting you fast forward.
Bitch, she didn't even want to hear what we had to say, Daphne. She's just like, oh, shut the fuck up, girl.
No, this is not no, this is not a replay. This is live. We changed the schedule to Tuesdays. So it's not going to let you fast forward. No.
You have to listen to all our bullshit. Every drop.
True. Yes. Every single one. Every single minute of nonsense. Oh, but yeah. So the little drawer thing. That's what she said.
I'm gonna be quiet while you
right.
This
very
vividly.
Because my other the Cintiq that I use, it's kind of glitching out, and it's been glitching out for a while. I mean, nothing that completely affects my ability to work on it, but ever since I got the Wacom Move Ink, which is a much better interface than the old Cintiq that I have, because I was thinking, well, since this other one is glitching out, and it's like, and I would like, maybe I should consider getting a new one, because at least the new tablets, they run on the same, or at least for what I believe is the same interview.
It grows on Indie Comics Network.
Yeah. So it's like, if you're having problems on my channel, then go to Indie Comics Network, and hopefully that'll clear it up. So then that would be a YouTube problem. That would definitely be a YouTube problem. So, so the new Wacoms should have the same interface as my Move Ink. And I really, really do like it, especially the touch screen, because being able to just like not have to do shortcuts and just like work on the screen with one hand. Yeah, just touch it. Just push the button.
And you only need one hand, so your other one's free to do whatever it will.
Right.
Workflow.
So I bought the keyboard tray thing, under desk thing, to clear up the space that hypothetically would hold this larger tablet. Because like I said, it's 24 inches, so it takes up a lot of space. It's gonna take a lot of space, and I keep seeing that people are saying that it's heavier than it looks. So once you have it in position, you really don't want to move it. So I'm kind of playing around with it conceptually before I decide.
Yeah, it probably has the weight of like an all-in-one.
Right. Yeah.
And these little motherfuckers get heavy.
Yeah. So it's like, so I'm thinking like maybe after the next campaign, it's like I'll probably like look into it, because I don't know. It's like I like the move ink, which like it's about this. It's the size of like a standard sketchbook for me. But there are times that I would like to have more room to work on, to work in. So yes, I'm just still trying to. I never got into the whole like, oh, let's buy a Huion, or let's buy what was it, a pen something. I forgot the other option. I know that C uses a Huion, right?
Mm.
Right. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, I guess because I have just everything set up for Wacom, it's just a lot easier for me to just switch them out rather than, have to like.
We just like affordable.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, because
like,
this is something
the affordability factor for us. Because I mean, he might prefer a Wacom, but the Huron gets it done. So
right, yeah. I mean, I guess so that's why I haven't gotten one yet, because
the only Wacom I ever had was that little bitty one where it was still the pin on the fucking.
Oh yeah, I had that. Yeah, little Graphier.
Yeah,
yeah. That was a step up from trying to draw with a mouse.
It was,
yeah. So that's why I'm kind of like trying to play around with my desk and see, whether it is something that's, after the next campaign,
whether it's feasible or not. Can you lay him out on the desk? Hey, big boy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and then to get like the ergonomic arms, so I can kind of like adjust it however.
Oh yeah,
that's
important.
That's important.
It's important.
Yeah, it is. It is actually. You have to watch your back. Oh my goodness. So what else has been going on with you, Nita?
Dude, my life is boring and I love it.
That's good. Boring is good.
With my kids, I'm doing my job. I get up, I do my 9 to 5, which really is more of a 9 to 5 now, with the exception of convention weekends.
Right.
But like, I'm just like chilling now.
That's good.
I'm embracing my crone era. I am gardening and I'm going to the gym because I want to get buff, not because I want to be skinny,
okay.
I want to be strong.
Right. Oh, I just want everything to stop hurting.
That's it though. But the more muscle you build, the more you support your joints. And considering what I have, even though they still can't pinpoint what it is, we do know it's genetic and hereditary.
Right.
And seeing my mom, who's like just now in her 60s, fucking like being
having a hard time. Yeah.
Like, I am like, no, it's time to start working out. And I am already almost pressing my own fucking weight.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, like I am putting to it, dude. I started the creatine and the protein powders, and like underneath this flub, you can start to feel some tightening. It might be underneath it, but I don't fucking care. It's the same reason I keep my shitty car, because people look at a shitty car and they don't fucking fuck with it, and inside of it, I probably had $10,000 worth of electronics. Right. You know what I mean? Like, nah, dude. This
got a cop engine.
I may be looking like lumpy space princess, but inside I'm like fucking ripped. I'm like fucking.
All right.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, yo,
that's true.
I'm going for it.
We have to have that motivation for something.
and also strong. I'm gonna tell you something already. Just in the few gains I have, like, strong feels way better than skinny.
Yeah,
I feel better than I felt when I did originally lose all the weight before I had to go through all the steroid cycles. And like, I feel better now than I did even then. And I mean, emotionally, physically, all of it. Like, it's doing something. It's doing something, so I ain't stopping. And if that means I end up on fucking greased up on fucking some shit. Like, I might. I'll be wearing the thong and squeezing the butt. Something.
Yeah, right. Well, it is a visual.
Hey, Jody.
Oh, hey, Jody. Yeah, the first Wacom pad, with the pen and the mouse, it had that. I think I had like pretty much every iteration of it. It's like I had the Graphire, I had I think they called it the Intuos, which is like the professional tablet. And then it took a while before I moved. I finally, I had a very generous regular commissioner that gave me my first Wacom.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was, because he had bought it for himself and he didn't like it. So he asked me if I wanted it. And I go, I'm certainly not going to say no.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's been like that, it's been like that ever since. Now it's like, I can't even imagine going back to just a regular tablet. Like I have to see it on the
That's
screen,
where I died artistically. Digitally,
Right.
like I could not make that progression. I have no spatial awareness in real life. If you've ever met me, I'm going to walk into your furniture. I'm going to hit
working with your hands and getting your hands dirty. As much as doing digital artwork, helps me get the work done faster. There is something to be said about doing artwork traditionally and taking that time to do the piece, and because it is like the inking, right, the cleanup. The cleanup.
I'll have watercolors, colored pencils, markers with no cap all over the floor. And
like for me, it's like
art supplies.
Yeah, like for me, the prep. There's like the prep before and the cleanup after. That's like that. I think like a lot of people don't realize.
Do you like actually sit down and put this here and this here?
Well, no, it's true. It's true.
It's true, and I'm not trying to be a pervert.
No, but it's true though. Like I just have to sit down and not think about it and just concentrate on the work, because it's like, because I want to run this Kickstarter for issue 13 in mid-September, after me and Jose come back from vacation, and it's like I just want to just roll into the campaign, but I can't do that if the work's not finished. And I have 9 pages left to go, which doesn't sound like a lot, but like I said, I have been dragging my ass on this. So yeah, I have to kind of like relax a bit and just work on it. But the thing is though, is that along with doing that, right, there are all these other things that I have to do around doing the actual artwork. That's the whole point of doing all this, right? So on a previous show, I spoke about using COPILOT to try to get me to understand platform algorithms and what would be like the best strategy to get around, or at least work in conjunction, in tandem with these algorithms, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or and mostly for Instagram, right? Because my whole thing recently, since pretty much July, I resurrected my webtoon and started started back uploading regularly on my webtoon to use it as a gateway to my Kickstarter. So the pattern that I'm following is this. It's like Instagram, webtoon, Kickstarter. And the last couple of weeks trying this experiment has been pretty interesting. And what I found is that by beginning to fuss with webtoon again, it kind of, I guess it started putting my stuff back into circulation. And this was like before I the update started, because I noticed around like the end of July that people started visiting the webtoon again. So it's like, so before when I was just getting like 1 or 2 views, now it's like every couple of days I get like 40 views, 50 views, you know, and it's like, oh, okay. So this, you know, I guess like this revving up that I'm trying to do is beginning to do something with Webtoon. Because like I said, I want to use Webtoon because we all love the phrase as my top of the funnel. God, I fucking hate that. You know, to introduce people to Eagle Raven, that hopefully eventually they'll move on to the Kickstarter because they read the series, you know, they binge read the series on Webtoon, and then they want to pick up physical copies. Right? So because I was like trying to get COPILOT to figure this out for me, to figure out, give me the patterns, right? That, you know, maybe I'm not catching something, and that COPILOT's like, oh yeah, dude, just do this, this, and this, right? So it gave me like this little plan, right? That's like, okay, I could try that, you know? And it's like, you know, making carousels, making reels, making, you know, like stories, and then being able to cross-post them to Facebook and all that, right? And within like the first week of really uploading stuff, I began to notice very quickly that the things that was really working for me were the videos. Like I could put up a story, I could put up a carousel, and that stuff would like it would get like 2 views or 2 likes, right? And to tell you the truth, now that I am it's not really getting any real engagement that I'm looking for. But when I post up the little videos, right, which is all like story oriented, and it's like, oh, meet Eagle Raven or whatever. Like just posting that onto YouTube got me like around 2,000 views. So 2,000 people hypothetically saw this video, you know? Now I know that, you know, the views are calculated, you know, in a weird way where it's like, it's like, did I really get 2,000 views, or is YouTube exaggerating it? I don't know. Right. But I'd rather believe that 2,000 people saw my video rather than only 2 people saw my carousel on Instagram. Right. So, and then, you know, and then it's like, you know, it's like, and I'm sure it wasn't coincidence that I started seeing a bump on Webtoon. So it's like, there has to be a connection, right, between everything. But I really don't know how to read these things. So again, it's like, that's what COPILOT for. COPILOT is the fake math guy that it's like, okay, let me see what information it can give me to see if there really is a correlation between what I'm seeing. So what I did was I did this little, you know, it's not a spreadsheet, but just all it is just, it's a list of numbers, the backers, my issue number, backers, new backers, physical backers, and the year the campaign came out. And I listed all of my Eagle Raven books, the 3 volumes and the individual issues. I did list Viking Slut, but I left it in notice that it's an outlier book, and I don't want it counted into the main data, but I still wanted this data to be here. And then on top of that, I put down my scheduling on Webtoon. So like my initial Webtoon uploads were from August 20th, 2024 to November 18th, 2025. So in that period, I was uploading every week to Webtoon, and then I stopped. So the uploads resumed August 4th, 2026. So I had, you know, a good chunk of time where the Webtoon was dormant. So, you know, so I put all these numbers together, right? And honestly, it's like I can glean some basic information about this, that my core backers has remained really steady over the years, and so have the physical backers. But I can see that when it comes to gaining new backers, I'm not, it's like I'm seeing a downturn, right? But it's not really affecting my overall backer count and how many books I send out, physical copies. So I took this and I put it into COPILOT. So let me just clarify something. It's just really funny how I guess we could say, very disingenuous people who want to get on my ass about AI, or in this case, large language models, because that's exactly what they are. They're not intelligent. It's not artificial intelligence. Just a stupid marketing phrase. Doesn't mean anything. And they all, and it's like, now when it comes to artwork and anything creative, I don't use this shit because it doesn't serve me at all as a tool. But I have no problem using COPILOT to kind of like analyze information for me. Because in the end, that's what it's good at. It's good at recognizing patterns and, and kind of like deducting the information from this in the context of what I need it for. But even then, you still have to be very careful with the information that it gives you, because I did catch it hallucinating about my numbers. And once I got it clarified, once I gave it clarifying information, it's kind of like translating something. If you know the language already that you're translating to, you can catch the mistakes easier because you recognize, if I'm translating something from English to Spanish, I can recognize whether the Spanish or the Portuguese is particularly correct, right? But if I tell COPILOT to translate something into Japanese, I have no way of verifying anything because I don't know Japanese, so I wouldn't be able to catch any mistakes. So I'm still trying to give it information. Yeah, exactly. This is what it's for, data aggregation. That's what it's really good at. So I still had to set it up in a way that I would understand what the information it's giving me, so that I can catch the mistakes if it makes it or when it makes it. Because it did make, like I said, it hallucinated a couple of things. But these are the results. So I plugged these numbers into COPILOT, and these are the results. Now, again, on previous shows, I was always arguing about how it was very difficult for me to get COPILOT to stop flattering me. Like, it likes to use a lot of flattering language, like I'm like some fucking insecure tech bro in a basement, who needs mommy to tell them how wonderful they are all the time. I don't need that shit. Just give me the data, but it still sneaks it in, it still sneaks it in, anyway. So I'm going to try to like weed that excess verbiage out. But like I said, it's still trying to flatter me, but the goal, the idea is to recognize what it's doing. So after analyzing the numbers, right, is like, your physical backer base is, well, it says you're extraordinarily stable. I don't know how true that extraordinary is. That's the thing. Across 5 years of campaigns, your physical backers stay between 70 to 79 physical backers for issues, then 82 to 89 physical backers for volumes. Your print audience is loyal, consistent, and insulated from digital trends. This is the backbone of your Kickstarter success. Your digital-only backers are the ones that are declining. So I started off with like 40 to 60 digital backers, and later issues would drop down to 20 to 30. So what this means is that your digital audience shrank because digital readers prefer Webtoon, not Kickstarter. Again, I'm not really sure where it's. Yeah, thank you. That's exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm not. Yeah. So they're saying that digital backers prefer going to Webtoon rather than Kickstarter. Again, I'm not sure how accurate this information is. So but assuming that's the case, I want to make sure Webtoon is ready for them. So then it was saying that my early new backer spikes, so the spikes that I saw when I started off between issues 1 and issue 4, were Kickstarter driven, not Webtoon driven, because I didn't start doing Webtoon until like 2024. Yeah, 2024, and issue 4, came out in 2022. And then it says your mid-series decline happened before Webtoon launched. So that drop was happening regardless. But my first Webtoon activity period did not raise my backers, did not increase new backers. You see, because in the end, that's the thing. It's like, it's how, I'm trying to analyze how, what's staying. So, and then it says that volumes attract fewer new backers than issues. So we've
always known that.
Right. That it's like that people are more likely, that people are more likely to jump in on an individual issue than a volume. Although, honestly, though, I would have thought it would have been
here's the deal. Because sometimes you have people that won't buy those, but they will buy the trade. And then you have those who buy all the issues, but they still want the fucking trade too. So, like, that's your core. The people who are backing your trades, that is your main, that is your ride or die motherfuckers right there.
Right. Yeah. That's definite. Because my volumes have really stayed really consistent in terms of physical backers. 89, 82, 83. It's like it stays around that number. So, I guess the good news is that returning backers, it said again, watch the flattery, your retention is exceptional. Exceptional compared to what? I don't know. It doesn't give me that context. Returning back. Yeah, I know. Returning backers stay between 116 to 173 over 5 years. And the reason it gives that your storytelling is sticky, your email list is strong, and your print audience is loyal. Your problem is acquisition, not retention. So once I get them, more likely than not, they're staying. But I guess it's it's like, I guess people, if they see they have an option between reading on Webtoon and buying a PDF, they'd rather read it on Webtoon. So, so of course, this has me thinking that it's okay, my plan has to be is get people to be with, right? So, so combined with videos getting me more views, right? So, so I'm kind of already straying from the path that COPILOT had initially given me, because it's well, I want to put my effort into the things that are actually being seen. If my videos are actually being seen, then I should put out more videos. And I was telling Jose that, most of the artists that I follow, they mostly put up videos. The only people who really use static imagery and carousels are people that have a very, very high quality of artwork, where I guess it makes people want to linger on that artwork more to be able to see the details. but I think that my style, which is more cartoony and very a lot simpler to look at, works more as video, or it seems to, because I guess it reads very easily in a short amount of time, in a short amount of space. So I think that's why the videos are doing better than, I think the static stuff is easy to pass by really quickly, while the videos, you kind of have to stick with it for 30 seconds. So now here's the funny thing that it brought up, though, right? Because then it's I started really asking, I started asking a couple of questions about Kickstarter, and if it could give me advice about Kickstarter's algorithm. Could I get COPILOT to tell me how Kickstarter's algorithm allegedly works? And what's working in my favor and what's not working in my favor. And I got a very interesting answer from this. So let's see. It says that Kickstarter's returning backer boost is real. It says here, Kickstarter gives a visibility bump when returning backers pledge early, returning backers pledge fast, and returning backers pledge in large numbers. This is the information that Kickstarter for
you mean pledge fast, like fund within the first fucking 24 hours?
Yeah, the shit that Kickstarter keeps saying that Kickstarter says true. That doesn't happen. It's oh, no, the algorithm doesn't work like that. This algorithm is saying that your algorithm works exactly how it works. That
my God, I wish we had a big veiny dick meme, or
right. My people, my algorithm is saying that your algorithm works exactly the way you say it doesn't.
Lies.
So in my favor, luckily, my audience does all three. They pledge early, fast, and in large numbers. So my campaigns get high retention, high early momentum, high visibility, and high total backers. But this visibility doesn't translate into new readers because, and this is where it really got surprising for me, the campaign is mid-series, the title signals not beginner-friendly, and Kickstarter's audience is not discovery-oriented. Thus, high retention but low new backer attraction. And get this, I almost, you could have tipped me over with a feather with this next one. What is the biggest complaint, the main complaint that fans pledging to Kickstarter have about the books they pledge to Kickstarter on? What's the biggest complaint?
Non-fulfillment.
Yeah. But okay, that's one. They don't get the books.
They don't understand how it works. The money being taken out. I mean, I don't know what you're there's a lot of things people are
that pretty much indie comics has the main complaint about indie comics is that it's unreliable.
Oh yeah.
Where it's everyone.
Oh my God, we should pull up the comments sometimes we're playing Cards Against Humanity. What is the number one complaint? It's premature ejaculation.
It's evaluation there.
No,
but it's yes. But it's it's people pledge to first issues. They take so long to get them, and then it's the entire. And then if it's multiple issues, they take forever to come out, and pretty much they're just pretty unreliable, right? But get this. The complaint, the thing that COPILOT is saying that works against me on Kickstarter, Your campaigns are too reliable to trigger curiosity. This sounds strange, but it's true. When a creator consistently delivers regular issues, consistent quality, predictable campaigns, and a stable audience, Kickstarter's discovery algorithm treats them as not a breakout moment. Well, it just treats them as not a breakout moment. Kickstarter promotes spikes, not stability. Your stability is amazing, but it doesn't trigger algorithmic discovery. Thus, high retention, low new backer attraction.
I disagree.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But
because on the surface it makes sense, but at the core it doesn't. Because I have seen creators change things up and it actually do them harm. Like their more consistent numbers started to drop off when they veered too far off their beaten path.
Right. But
I've seen it repeatedly.
Right. But when you say off their beaten path, like what does that look like?
For you, it would be like when you did Viking Slut.
Right. Like that's that, because it's funny because it does mention it, even though I told it not to count it. But so let's see. I have so many printouts because I wanted to keep track of all this. So so it says here. So the next thing that it says is your series is long enough that new readers prefer webtoons first. Again, I don't know if there's really a correlation with this, but it says your series is now 12 issues deep, 3 volumes, multiple emotional beats, multiple character relationships. It lists multiple arcs, but again, I think that's a hallucination because I only have the one arc. New readers want to try before they buy. Webtoon is the perfect place for that. Kickstarter is not. Thus, new readers, the logic behind it is that new readers go to Webtoon, then to Kickstarter. Your numbers reflect this natural behavior. Again, I'm not sure how much this is that actually correlates.
Yeah.
So it brought up, okay, so, because Viking Slut was a huge jump for me, right?
Right.
Because it's like, we're talking about like, like when on my other campaigns, I was making like I had 133 backers or 132 backers. Viking Slut had 233 backers.
Well, yeah.
But it's like, according to this logic, the reason why Viking Slut did significantly better was because it was a brand new project. It was a self-contained project, and this is something that that COPILOT's not going to tell me, but we all know it's true. It's pornography.
That's the only one I agree with,
right?
Because it's not that far different because you used your own character, so there was that familiarity to your regulars. Like it is, Viking Slut is one. I guess should not be in the equation at all.
Right?
And
exactly.
It refuses to take it out because it was impactful.
Right, exactly. It's like, but the other impact that it had that really showed me, well, the 2 things that I learned from Viking Slut was I got like a larger number of female readers on that book, right? Which is what who I'm trying to attract now, but I'm having a hard time.
You got to send out the Monster Fucker single.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And and they did not stay for the main series. Because after Viking Slut, the main series just went back, just stuck to where it was always at. It didn't change any. I didn't really gain any significant,
right.
I didn't gain anything significant from Viking Slut, which is the reason why that as much as I had fun with that campaign, the next issue, the next project I have in that series has to wait until I'm done. Because it doesn't affect the main series. So now here's something. How is it getting these webtoon statistics? Well, see, that's the thing, right? Because I did give it my webtoon numbers, but I have to be careful with the data because like I said, causation is not correlation, or correlation is not causation. So I kind of have to, take all this information with a grain of salt, because I don't know what else it's putting in that equation, or whether, because I'm asking for a correlation, it's making one up, which is, again, the reason why, it's like, yeah, they're handy. It's handy up until a certain point. But it did bring up something that I thought was also interesting. It brought up a concept called series intimidation. And it says here, series intimidation is one of the most important forces shaping your Kickstarter numbers. Let's see what series intimidation actually means. Series intimidation is the psychological barrier that stops new readers from joining a story when it's already deep into its run, even if the creator explicitly says you can start here. It's about reader psychology. Readers think, I don't want to start at issue 9 if I haven't read issues 1 through 8. Even if the story is accessible, you offer catch-up tiers, you provide recaps, and you explain where to start. The number alone creates friction. What do you like? What are you thinking about that idea? That that I'm having a problem getting new readers because of series intimidation.
I call bullshit, because like when you follow a series like that you're passionate about, that's a good thing. Like,
right.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like garble that's trying to make sense.
Right. But it's like, fortunately, this is garble about something that's not, I guess you could say, life or death. Like, it could be something that I can think about.
Right. It's not telling you that roaches need to live in your penis.
Right.
Which it will do. It will do. You just gotta ask the right
or you
question.
make pizza out of glue. Right. So now the thing is, though, is that obviously my physical backers are fine. We're not talking about physical backers at all, but we are talking about digital backers. And I just find it funny, though, that because it almost sounds like a contradiction that there's too much friction to pledge to my campaign, even at a PDF level, but it's not enough friction to keep them from going to Webtoon to read it for free. It's the same 8 issues.
Right.
But, so obviously the price, the fact that they have to pay something is the friction. But of course, I'm not going to offer anything on my Kickstarter for free, except you can download issue 1 if you wanted. But I think that's why I think that just reiterates why Webtoon is kind of important for me to bring Webtoon back into my rotation, because if I can't get them on my Kickstarter, I can at least get them on Webtoon. And if they're if I'm getting that engagement on Webtoon, then the idea is that it'll eventually build enough views that 1% will be of the total will be interested in actually buying the physical book when they see that it's available. Right? Like, that's kind of the plan. Yeah, there might be something there. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. And it's like, because I was like telling Jose all this, right? And we were kind of like going back and forth, because he was saying that the whole like series intimidation is, he says that's an actual, like, he says that's the reason why you see Marvel constantly rebooting their shit. That they're constantly trying to put out as many number 1s as possible, because it actually is an issue for them. I remember back during the black and white or the indie comics boom, where especially it was Barry Blair that did this. He did 2 things. that that kind of like helped him game the system with actual retailers, right? Is that every fourth issue, he did a ongoing series. Every fourth issue restarted with issue 1. So even though his series was like, say, 20 issues, every fourth issue was an issue 1. He would just restart the numbering. It wouldn't change the story. He would just change the numbering so that it would, click with the retailers and they would buy that. So he would always get that boost, that issue 1 boost.
Right.
And then the other thing that he did is that he always made sure that his sex scenes always fell in the exact center of the book. So when it naturally felt like, when you naturally let the book open to the staples, that 2-page spread was a sex scene. So those are like the two things that he did, right? But that whole like the number 1 always gets, new blood into a series. So, Jose was saying that wasn't a new thing. That's not a new thing. It's just that Kickstarter is just following the same pattern as retailers, as it was when we were trying to sell to retailers. They only want the new and exciting thing, hence the whole like, death of Superman and shit. It's like they were doing everything they could to get those new readers in, even if, by trying to break up that long continuity. Maybe try publishing on Tapas as well. The audience might be different. Webtoon is just a bigger site. Tapas isn't backed by Hollywood, and it might be easier to be seen on Tapas. You know what? Let me write that down, because you know what? I think that's probably,
that's your indie audience.
Yeah. Think about consumers of digital content would pick up what they like or caught their attention. It would make them seek out beginning if they need. Yeah. But the whole Tapas thing, but Marvel has more than 50 years of you would have to catch up on. Yeah, that's also that's their problem too. I just have 16 issues in total and people are struggling.
And they have countless fucking titles and,
Right. Yeah. So, so it's kind of like, okay, like, how do I, kind of like play around with that without completely like wrecking the like what I have already established, because I don't want to sacrifice my regulars for the sake of new backers. It's kind of like cable television, how it's like they always, like you could call up and and it's like always like they always seem to give the best deals to new signups than try like they would work harder to get a new sign up than it is to keep their regular customers. Like with cable back in the day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You always had the new subscriber offers at a discounted rate. And then you have to that's when we first started changing up our names. Just a tweak. Yeah. And that's also when kids developed credit and their parents would put the cable bill in their name.
Right. Yeah. It's like, 'cause I know that for several years, me and Jose would switch who was on the cable bill just to get the new, and look,
new package with Stars and Disney and
right. Yeah. Just to get the lower rate
next year.
Right. Just to get the lower rate. Right. Because they would never give it to us when we were canceling, but they would always give it to us when we were signing up, like a new account, well, that is my intention. I am not renumbering anything. Don't get me wrong on that. I am not.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get it twisted. I'm not, I'm not. It's like I said, this is more to kind of like give me like, I don't know, like just like a different way of seeing things, seeing what I'm doing. Because like I said, on one hand, I think it's all bullshit. But on the other hand, it's like, well, if I don't do anything, I feel weird not doing anything.
Right.
So yeah, so it brings up, so pretty much what I was really surprised to see, going back to the Kickstarter thing, that the algorithm, like what it was telling me is that the algorithm on Kickstarter actually punishes you for being stable and a long running series. You know, yeah, I see that's the thing. And mind you, and it definitely worked for Snowball, because Snowball gets higher numbers, got significantly higher numbers with that issue 1, and kind of retained those higher numbers. Well, not the first, I think the first issue, you know, is first issue, you know. But yeah, but by doing a new series, you were able to get in all these new people. You know, but yeah, but it's like, you know, it was just kind of weird to kind of think about. It's like, is Kickstarter actually punishing people for having a longer dedicated series than just shitting out issue 1s? You know, and you know what I mean? It's like, you know, and it's kind of like grimy to think about it, you know, to really think that, you know, maybe it's not, you know, it's not that, you know, it's like literally people are only seeing the books that are more likely to be flash in the pans than they are to see a series that has the legs to run the gauntlet. So it's like, maybe it's not that when people get frustrated with books on Kickstarter, that's because those are the books that Kickstarter are going to show you.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, here's this book that's another issue 1 from a publisher you've never heard of. You know, but we're going to give it project we love, and we're going to like give it all the push because it's the new book and everything. But, you know, but the title that's been running consistently on Kickstarter, it's not going to really push that, because like, oh, you know, it's like, you've been on here too long.
Right.
You're not exciting, you know? So I'm just kind of wondering, it's like, you know, maybe, you know, like people would be more willing, like it wouldn't be series intimidation as much as it's, you know, it's like, well, obviously if I'm pledged to this campaign, I'm going to actually get my book because you did this 12 times before.
Right.
You know, and mind you, I'm not talking about people who run like 20 campaigns and don't fulfill any of them.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like, you know, so it's kind of like, you know, like, okay, it's like, is this kind of like a real thing? You know, so the thing that it suggested that I do to kind of get around this is take out, well, it's like kind of like put in a reader friendly bundle on the Kickstarter. And because I'm trying to attract these it's my digital numbers that are the problem, only keep that new reader bundle as a digital offering. So for issue 13, what I'm going to do is, like, for 72 hours, I'm going to offer up all 13 issues as a PDF for $20 for new readers. I mean, technically, if 72 hours, anybody can buy these, but it's just going to be for 72 hours, and new readers will be able to get all 13 issues for $20. And it says in big thing, new reader bundle, to catch up. And then after the 72 hours, it goes back to its regular price of like $50. I think it was $60, $65. You know, and it's like, well, I kind of like put that in there, like new reader friendly. And then,
so what are you going to offer your old backers?
Oh, well, there is the well, right. So
72 hours too, because if you don't, then you're going to have a problem.
Well,
like I'm just
because for the backers, because the backers they get they get like the bonus art print and sticker for physical backers, so they get that if they physically back the campaign. You know, so yeah, so the new backers, the new backers, you know, they'll don't be the cable company. Yeah, exactly. No, don't be the cable company. No, that's the thing, because it's like I want to keep everything pretty much stable for my regular backers, but I want to try to get these digital backers that are not either they're not sticking around for some reason, or they just don't want to spend the money to kind of like catch up. But also at the same time, I'm kind of I'm reverse Unoing this by saying this is also on Webtoon. You can read this on Webtoon. So even if I don't get the digital backers on the campaign, I'm telling them where to go so that they can read it at their own leisure. You know, so it's like, okay, maybe you won't buy my book here, you know, as a digital copy, but I'm going to send you someplace where you can read it for free. Right? And then the hope is that that'll eventually circle back. So other than that, I you know, and then posting more videos, I mean, I really, you know, that's kind of like how I'm interpreting this information.
It's always an experiment every time.
Right, exactly. Like, you know, because she knocked herself out. No, but that's while she comes back in. So you know, so that's kind of like, so you know, last week we were talking about looking at things from the reader's perspective. Like, this is not about, oh, but I want the sale now. It's like, you know what, I kind of have to let go of that idea, you know, especially if, you know, we're talking about that my problem is digital backers, you know, that it's like, oh, I'm not gaining as much new backers as I feel I should be, right? But I cannot think about it as, you know, it's like, oh, me, I want them to buy the book and they have to do it on the campaign and this, that, and the other thing, right? The idea is, what are the readers seeing? You know, when they come to my campaign, you know, what are they seeing and what's keeping them from staying? You know, or like, how are they making the decisions whether to buy or to go someplace else? And that's also the other thing that I'm trying to keep in mind, to really, it's like I mentioned in the previous thing, it's like I have to take my ego out of selling Ego Raven. So hold on, let me see. Let me find out what I think Nita probably just lost power again. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. You know, yeah, it's yeah, she hasn't said it. Oh, wait, did she say anything in the comments? Yeah, don't be the cable company. So, and the thing is, though, I've always suspected this thing for the longest time of series intimidation, that especially seeing like other long running series on Kickstarters, that the creators tend to see a downturn. And my suspicion is that, well, the longer the series goes, I guess like the more people grow tired of it. You know, or again, more intimidated. It's like, if you have a series that's 26 issues on Kickstarter, you know, how are you going, you know, it's like, that could be intimidating. And the thing is, though, I've seen this at conventions too. So again, you know, COPILOT is not really telling me anything new. It's just setting it up in a way that I could see it in a different context. And kind of making me think, okay, how do I apply this information to what I'm trying to do? Because I've seen people at conventions saying it's like, well, they would do this both ways. If you, if I see an issue 1, they'll say, well, you just have an issue 1. How do I know you're committed? Right. And then the flip coin of that is that, oh, you have 15 issues. That's way too much commitment for me at one time. Right. So it's like, so in the end, it's like, am I concerning myself with readers who are really actually not interested? That they're just using that as an excuse to just not buy your work without saying, I'm not interested. So they come up with this, oh, that's way too much of a commitment. I'll catch you later. Kind of like the Kickstarter version of, oh, I'm just making the rounds. I'll be right back. But yeah, it's like, yeah. And then you have things, right. So, yeah, like, I don't know, like with Walking Dead, because I've always had this joke that it's like, what's what's classy when mainstream does it, but what's trashy when indies do it? Because it's like, I see people doing, like, giving mainstream books a lot more leeway with this type of stuff than they would actually give indie comics. Like Walking Dead, they'll collect all the books. Like, oh, I saw it on TV, I'll get all the books. Like the same thing with Invincible, right? I'll buy all the trades. But if they see my 15 issues, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, I don't want to, that's too much of a commitment. Right? So, so again, being able to say, well, you can read it for free on Webtoon, right? I guess that's kind of a way of me calling their bluff while still kind of gaining their views, which puts me on the Webtoon algorithm. And yeah, definitely Little Dixie, I'm going to look into putting it on Tapas. I'm going to look into, it's that's what it sounds like, right? It's like, I'm not looking for a relationship right now, meaning not you. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just kind of wondering, like, how much of this is that actually, like my hardcores, they're with me. They're obviously, the numbers show that, that I do have a very dedicated fan base for my book, but new backers are the struggle, but but how much do I have to struggle to get those new backers? Like, I don't mind doing more videos because I've got it down. If it's one thing that this experiment had me do was practice making more videos, and I was able to get it down to a 30-second template that's been working really well for me. So it's a lot easier for me to do more videos. So I think that that's kind of like where I'm going with it. I'm going to go with it. Like I said, I did a couple of tweaks on my upcoming Kickstarter to see whether that actually attracts people, or kind of like at least wakes up the algorithm, the Kickstarter algorithm in my favor, because I'm offering something for new readers. I don't know. I mean, it's like, in the end, using COPILOT to address these numbers for me ended up creating more questions than I really got answered. But again, it's just all what's the data on this, and how does COPILOT interpret it, and how can I take that information and actually apply it to what I'm doing, right? And then how does that relate to how people are actually seeing my work? And then taking that into consideration. Are they actually, like, yeah, it's like, do they just really want a free place to read my work? Then okay, then let's do that. Let's supply them with a free place to read my work. because in the end, I think it's more important. That is ultimately more important for me to get actual readers and then hope that it circles back to more Kickstarter sales than it is to kind of like cut those people off completely, and say, well, I'm not giving any away for free. You either buy my stuff or you don't like it, don't buy it. And it's like, no, you know what? I actually want you to read my stuff. Even if you're reading it for free on Webtoon, I actually want you to do that. So, it's so, yeah. So in the end, it's kind of like, how do I mesh these two contradictions, of like people who are willing to buy my story, buy my books, to actually support the work that I'm doing, and the people who are interested in my work, but they're not really committed to supporting it in a monetary sense. And how much does that matter? Right? It's like, if people, it's like, in the end, does it really matter if people are enjoying my work on Webtoon, but maybe they're just not at the point where they're ready to like actually get a trade paperback? And what's funny is that kind of like leads into another conversation that I'll probably do on the next show, where I got rid of a lot of books in my collection, a lot of comic books in my collection, because I was sure as shit they were going to come out with trade paperbacks. And they never did. And now and now it's like, I'm kind of like rebuilding that comic book collection, because those books are never coming out in trade, but I still want them. Right? So, and I can technically read them for free as well, but I want the physical books. So, like I said, that's another conversation. Let's see. Rob says there are still people who don't know what Kickstarter is and people who don't know Webtoons. Right. So I have to send them somewhere. So it's like, it's like, so I kind of like have to know what to do with these two people, with those two audiences, right? The people who don't know Kickstarter, I can send them to Webtoons, right? Right. It's like, well, you can read it there for free, because Webtoon, you don't even, yeah, you do need to sign up, but, it's kind of that thing where a lot more people probably know Webtoon than they know Amazon, than they know Kickstarter. And it's like, yeah, and I also have it running on my own website as well, which I did have people come from Webtoon when I stopped updating on Webtoon. They moved over to, I've had some people say, it's like, oh, I've been reading your stuff on your website because you stopped updating on Webtoon. And my website's even easier than Webtoon, because you just go to my website and it's right there. You don't have to log in or anything. Diversify your bonds. Yeah. Well, exactly. It's like, yeah, diversity is everything, right? It's like you have to have a diverse portfolio in order to have maximum gains, right? That's what they say. So that's just what I've been trying to figure out. And that's how I've been trying to use like COPILOT to help me think about it, like kind of like clarify certain things. I think in the end, what COPILOT did was just not justify, but just like, I had my suspicions with my numbers, but I couldn't articulate it. And COPILOT just clarified what I pretty much already knew, what I already suspected, but I just couldn't articulate it, with any certainty. So COPILOT was like, oh yeah, just clarified it. And now I can say, oh yeah, it's like, these are my numbers. This is what my numbers mean. This is where my losses are. And this is where I should concentrate on, but, to do it in a way where it doesn't alienate my regulars as well. So, at least there was some help with that. Did it solve the problem? No, it did not. And I think that that's the mistake that a lot of people make when using LLMs, is that they're using them to solve the problem when that's not what it's for. I don't think it's really capable of doing that. But, in this particular case, it can give me data to work with, extra data to work with. Little Dixie says, I think it's a generational thing with Webtoon and Kickstarter as well. I see more manga readers on Webtoon Tapas and more superhero old school readers on Kickstarter. Yeah, that's a good point too. And the thing is that I do want to attract more manga readers, because I really do think my book, it kind of leans more towards that. So, I gotta go where I gotta go where the fish are at, right? I gotta go where the manga readers are. I cannot expect them to, they have to find me. They don't have to do shit. They can stay in, wherever they're comfortable with, so I have to go to them. So yeah, so that makes sense that it's like, okay, I can start up my Webtoons again, which I have, and I have been seeing a difference there. So what happens if I start updating on Tapas as well? So, if that's where the manga readers are, and those are the people that I want to attract, then that's where I have to be, and I have to make that effort to go there. So, and like I said, eventually it'll all hopefully come together. But, I want people to read my stuff. In the end, that's what it boils down to. I want people to read my stuff. And because I do this myself, I have kind of like that luxury to not have to worry so much about the finances of it, because I'm doing it myself. The money that I make on Kickstarter, aside from very few exceptions, whether I'm paying for a Zhang Brothers cover or covers from Jaden, it's like those are pretty much my only the only things I'm paying out for, and it's not that much. Everything else I'm doing myself, so that allows me the leeway to actually expand in a way that probably a lot of other creators wouldn't want to, because they can't afford to give their stuff away for free. Like Rob says, I have my issue one on a ton of digital sites for free or cheap. I don't add my other issues to those sites to bring them to my site. So yeah, it's that whole circling around. And then Joe says, I may need to do this for Comixology and Global Comics, where my comics are on sale digitally. Does Comixology still exist? I thought Amazon closed that down. And yeah, Global Comics in the end turned out to be not really a good fit for me, because it is a lot of superhero stuff. So I have stuff on Comixology, but it's, it's just Amazon now. Okay, so Comixology is just Amazon. And Jennifer says, I do think I am then thinking about posting my comic on Webtoon, since my story is an isekai series. So yeah, so if you fit the environment, then that's where you should put your book to kind of get that introduction. And, according to Little Dixie, Tapas is a good place as well. So that is, like I said, if there's a particular audience you want seeing your book, you have to go to where they are. So that's pretty much it. I guess we lost Nita. She probably lost power. That kind of happens in her area. So she probably just lost power. So we'll catch her on the next one. But that's what I've been doing, and how I've been kind of like integrating COPILOT into my data aggregation. It is kind of funny how people, like, there's certain, let's just say, people who are arguing from bad faith, that like to say it's like, oh, you're just against AI and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, I use it for this. This is where I'm using it. Right. And then all of a sudden they don't want to have the conversation anymore. You know, and I just find that funny where it's like, you know, it's like, yeah, I don't have a problem using it when I'm using it as the actual tool it was meant to be. Like I said, it's not a tool for me creatively. You know, it's not, it's useless to me in that sphere. That's why I don't use it for artwork. I don't use it for writing. I do my own writing. I do my own artwork. That's not where I use it. I use it here where I need more analytical information that I definitely like. I have the numbers. I just don't know how to read them the way I need to. So that's where COPILOT comes in. So that's where I use it. That's the tool. You know, it's not that I don't use it. I just don't use it as the tool other people want me to use it, but I refuse to use it as. You know what I mean? You know? Yeah. And that's exactly what it is. It's like it was meant to replace Google, and that's exactly how I treat it. It's like a souped up Google that is just doing what I would have originally asked Google to do. You know? To find me this information. But that's what it is. But like I said, it's like whenever I start talking about AI like this, all of a sudden no one's interested. These same people are not interested. So I just find that funny. Yeah, exactly. AI good for marketing and statistical data, poor for creative ventures. Exactly. Absolutely. So that's it for me. Like I said, we lost Nita. She probably, like I said, the power probably went out. So that's a lot of food for thought today. You know, so I'm going to continue ruminating on this, and as I continue working on issue 13. Oh, hello, Dr. Midnight. I see you. I'm going to continue working on issue 13, ruminating on this, thinking about the other videos that I'm going to be, making and posting. And hopefully this information, kind of like, I don't know, brings you a light bulb moment as well. It's like, the information about Kickstarter was a little interesting. Is it accurate? I have no idea. Does it sound correct in the grand scheme of things when you consider how retailers worked and how these things go? Sure, it could be plausible, but, in the end, there are certain goals that I want to reach, and not all of this information in the end is going to be relevant to what I need. But it's nice to have that discussion. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat, for keeping me company, especially after Nina disappeared. Thank you so much to the beautiful eyeball people watching, listening in the background while you are getting your work done. I hope you at least got some insight out of this. So so I guess it's time for everybody to get back to work. If you want to learn more about me and my artwork and everything else going on that I have going on, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com. That's EGOWORKS, where you can check out Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales Online. That's TAILS online.com, and you can read the entire archive of over 1,000 pages there. And also, while you're there, don't forget to sign up for to sign up for my newsletter, where you can keep up to date with all of my new art, my sketchbooks, my comics, my Kickstarters, and get a free PDF bundle, comics bundle, just for joining. So that's it for me. That's it for us. Thank you so much. I'll catch you all. I'll catch you on the replay. I'll catch you next Tuesday. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again. And I'll see you next time.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to